welcome back to CJ's Keto Kitchen. Tonight we're going to be making a nice, cool spring and summertime dessert. When I was growing up, we called this a ribbon cake, which is a very pretty name for it, and it's a very easy layered dessert, and most of it is just refrigerator only. You need to just bake the crust is all. And it's going to be chocolate flavored, and it's wonderful for potlucks, picnics, barbecues, Mother's Day's coming up, and graduations, baby showers. Anytime you're asked to bring a dish, it's really, really good. Lots of people who don't follow this lifestyle seem to really enjoy it. In fact, it flies off the table. So hopefully you'll get some. But please come along with us and let's get started making this very easy dessert. So we are starting with 1 cup of blanched almond flour. And to that, we are going to add 1/4 cup of my butter roasted pecans. We have a recipe for these on our channel. I do them myself because then I know what's in it. So I chopped those up, and that will go into our crust as well. And then to this dry mixture, I'm also going to add 3 tablespoons of sweetener. And the sweetener that I'm using for that is the monk fruit erythritol blend by So Nourished. We really love So Nourished. Their products are very economical, and you usually get at least a pound for the same cost it would be for a similar product for a much smaller package. So we've been very happy with their products. So I'm just gonna kind of incorporate that a little bit. And this is going to give us kind of a shortbread cookie style crust. So like pecan sandies, if you are familiar with pecan sandies in the grocery store. And then to that mixture, I'm going to add 1/2 cup of melted butter. And then we're just going to incorporate that until it gets kind of crumbly and pulls away from the bowl. And then we're going to press it into the bottom of our 9 by 13 inch pan. And this is going to give us a nice shortbread cookie crust. And we're going to bake that. And this is the only part that gets cooked in this recipe. And we're going to bake that at 350 for about 8 to 10 minutes, depending on your oven. So I have my 9 by 13 inch pan, and I have lightly sprayed it with some coconut oil. Not that you really need to with this amount of butter, of course, but I just spray everything as just something I do. So I'm just gonna kind of work this around. It's gonna be very thin because it's just a small part of our recipe. Just kind of spread it around evenly so that it gets everywhere on the bottom. Okay, that looks pretty even. Now we're just going to pop this in the oven for about 8 to 10 minutes, and we'll be right back. My crust ended up taking about 11 minutes, and it's just very lightly brown. Now it's very important that you cool the crust completely before you put the rest of your toppings in, because they're all light and fluffy and moussey. And if you don't let your crust cool, then you'll just end up with a bunch of liquid. So you can actually do this step the day before or a couple of hours before. That requires just a little bit of prepping ahead. So the first step I'm going to do after we've done the crust part is I'm going to make the whipped cream for our topping so that it can be chilling in the refrigerator while we make the base of our ribbon cake. So to my mixer, I am going to add 2 cups of heavy whipping cream. And we're going to go ahead and start whisking that. So we're gonna start out low just to get it mixing and then increase our speed. I'm going to add a little bit of liquid sweetener. You can use whatever kind you want. I'm using sucralose. And it's starting to pull together. Okay. Now I'm going to put this in another bowl and get it chilling for us to use later. And now we can start making our second layer. So for our second layer of our ribbon cake, we need 8 ounces of softened cream cheese, and I'm using the Philadelphia brand because it has the fewest amount of carbs. And it's really important to have your cream cheese as soft as you can. It really makes incorporating ingredients a lot easier. And to that, I'm going to add 1 cup of powdered erythritol. Once again, we use the So Nourished, and it's powdered. If you don't have powdered, you can whirl up your granular, either in a coffee grinder or food processor. But having it in this composition is really pretty essential, because otherwise you can get a grainy texture, and we want this to be light and fluffy and moussey. So I'm just putting that in, trying not to wear too much of it. And we are going to start out on a low speed to get this combined so that we aren't getting it all over us. And then we'll start whipping it. Okay, so it's nice and creamy. It's right where we want it. Now to this mixture, we are going to go ahead and add a cup of heavy cream and whip everything together to give us a nice, yummy cheesecake layer. Sorry. Stir up everything, make sure that it's all combined off the edges of my mixer. And let it go for just another second. Okay, that is ready. And you can see the consistency. Nice and creamy like cheesecake. I'm going to transfer this to another container because once again we are going to use the bowl for something else. Okay, so our next step, I already have poured 2 sugar-free chocolate puddings in my bowl. And it's very important, number one, that it's sugar-free, so you need to look for that. And the other important step is you need it to be instant. You don't want the cook and serve. And I'm not sure if they even make sugar-free cook and serve. But anyway, those are the 2 things that you need to pay attention to. And we need 2 boxes. So 2 of the 1.5 ounce size boxes. And to that, I'm going to add 3 cups of cream. Okay, Okay, you can see that this has gotten very thick and moussey very quickly. It only takes a second. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a stir, and then we're going to get everything off. It makes it very thick and moussey, which is the consistency that we would like. Okay, so let's start assembling. So we're going to start with our cream cheese layer, which is what we put away a minute ago. Just had it chilling in the refrigerator until we were ready for it. So we're going to spread that evenly over the crust. Make a nice white fluffy layer. This is why the crust really needs a chance to cool, is because of this beautiful white fluffy cheesecake layer. You want it to stay nice and fluffy and not liquefy when it hits the warm crust. So that's the important part, is making sure that your crust has had enough time to chill. And you can always pop it in the refrigerator or freezer if you're in a hurry or you decide to make this last minute. So our next layer, we're gonna put our pudding in, our pudding mousse, and it's really thick. If you need to thin it, you can always beat a little bit of half and half into it. But we're gonna try and spread this around and not make a big gooey mess. Well, we ended up with pudding that was much thicker than anticipated. So I am trying to get it to spread well. It ended up very, very, very thick, almost like a super frosting thick. So I am doing my best to spread it across. Generally, it's not quite this thick. So for some reason, this happens to be a bit thicker. So it's all right. These things happen, and you're gonna cover it with whipped cream anyway, so nobody's gonna see it. So that is our third layer, because of course we have our crust. So our next step, we are going to take the cream that we made at the beginning that has been chilling for us in the refrigerator, and we're just going to cover our other layers. Just spread this around and do as evenly as you can. And it's all snowy white on the top. And we're going to make it really pretty with a final touch here in just a second. Okay, for our final touch, I chopped up some Lily's chocolate chips. We had these left over from when we made our cookie muffins. And I just put them through my processor and kind of made them crumbly. And we're going to sprinkle this on the top to give it some pretty decoration. But you can do whatever you want. You could do cocoa powder if you'd like, or some cinnamon, or depending on what other flavors of pudding. We've used different flavors. In our past, we've done pistachio before, we've done butterscotch. So anything that goes with what you have put inside. But this makes it nice and pretty and extra chocolatey. So there we go. There she is. There is our chocolate ribbon cake. And we're gonna pop it in the refrigerator. And it's best to let it sit for about 2 hours. Or you can let it sit overnight if you know you're gonna go somewhere or take it somewhere. And we'll show you what it looks like when we serve it. Okay, CJ, it's time for the taste test, your favorite part. What are you trying?
This is our chocolate ribbon cake.
Is it chocolatey?
It's really chocolatey.
And you can see the ribbon in the ribbon cake. That's how it gets its name. There's a ribbon of chocolate.
Yep, right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's good.
Good.
That pecans in the crust make it really tasty too.
Pecans make everything better.
Good job, baby.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us tonight, you guys. We hope that you really enjoy the ribbon cake. It's very easy, very yummy, and you can make it in any kind of variety. We've made it with different flavors of pudding, so you can let your imagination run wild. But we hope that you'll come back and join us again, and please subscribe and hit the notification bell, and that way you'll be notified when we upload new content. And we're hoping to have quite a few potluck, 4th of July, barbecue style recipes coming up to help you get through the summer in the keto lifestyle fashion. So please come back and join us, and we'll see you next time on CJ's Keto Kitchen. Bye.